Well. If you listen to social media, content creators, and the media at large, Micah Parsons' contract is imminent. And I have to be honest with you, I haven't seen people just be in such a frenzy about a player's contract like people are about Micah Parsons. And the Cowboys, they've done a pretty good job to me in free agency. I've given them a B- on free agency, and that is way better than anything they've done in the past. But unfortunately, the more things change, the more things remain the same in Cowboys country. Because I believe Cowboys might be about to overpay for one Micah Parsons. Let's talk, Cowboys. We're about to talk facts. Welcome, Cowboy fans and Cowboy haters alike. I'm the G, and I'm the host of Let's Talk Cowboys, where we talk facts. And if you like this video, please don't forget at the end to like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you know the next time we post another video or go live. You can continue to push us out into the YouTube algorithm, and you can continue to make this channel grow. And if you haven't become a channel member already, please join. We have a lot of great things coming in the future. Now let's talk facts. Again, it seems that Micah Parsons' contract is imminent. And it seems like we've been saying this for quite a while. But the problem is with all of this, and I'm all about people getting their money. Get your money. But there are some things that have transpired all the way up until the point of where we are right now. There are some things that have transpired up until this point that may be the very reason Micah Parsons gets overpaid. And let me say this up front. It's not Micah Parsons' fault. It's not Micah Parsons' fault he's about to get overpaid. Because I want to bring to our recollection some things that have been said and some things that have happened that's leading me to this conclusion. Do y'all remember when Micah Parsons said this?
Does it matter to you to become the highest paid defensive player?
I don't know. Like, it really just depends on the circumstances of, like, who are we trying to get? Who's trying to, return? I look at it from a business side also, if we're going to be aggressive in bringing in players to play next to me, because right now, you look at it, I don't know who I'm playing, besides Marshawn and Sam and Mozzie. I don't know, who's going to be in our room with Chauncey and Osa and D-Law, not being here. So to me, it's all about the foundation of the team. Like, how can I create the best foundation and play with the guys who've helped me create a lot of success. Those guys helped me get to where I am, where I could become the highest paid player. So, I would like, for as many of us to be here as possible so we can continue having success, winning seasons. I know we've been injured, but, I don't think that changes the outcome. I think these last couple of weeks and been defining of our, our real defense that's come together, learning a new system. So to me, it's just all about, the aggressiveness on how we look at, free agency and who I want to play next to, because I feel like, you see a lot of times, the highest paid, player, then we say they don't have weapons or, they don't have this. So I'd rather just be in the best situation. At that point, I don't think there's a big difference between 30 and 40 million in my eyes, and that's just me talking like.
Is David going to have to understand that too?
My agent might be mad at me. I even said that. But, for me, bro, I've already been blessed enough, bro.
That was Micah Parsons during the actual season. Micah Parsons said he didn't see a difference between 30 and 40 million, depending upon how aggressive the Cowboys would be in free agency. And he's basically saying that he wants people around him so he doesn't have to be the highest paid, right? The Cowboys shocked everyone and hired one Brian Schottenheimer. Do we remember when Jerry said this?
Of how you did it, but why didn't you go do that? That's all management, okay? I want our fans to know that I can manage really good, I do real well managing. I do real well managing. I know that bank account's full, that doesn't mean you got money. It just means you hadn't paid your bills due 60 days from now. So you got to look around the corner, you got to be good at it, and you got to live with the time that you're looking around the corner, okay? And so that's what you see here. No apologies. Everybody has to do it. We obviously hadn't done it well enough. I think our first Super Bowls that I was involved in were before the cap. And so we have to do a better job in that area. Can we? You bet you can.
Jerry just said they need to do better and will do better managing the cap. Well, that's all fine and dandy, Jerry. But the problem is you did something that you shouldn't have done. The Cowboys have waited to pay one Micah Parsons. Because since Micah Parsons has said what he said, and since Jerry Jones has said what he said, let me show you what has transpired. This happened. Oh, wait. And then sneakily or quietly, this happened. Oh, wait. Danielle Hunter is not enough? Max Crosby is not enough. And then this megaton bomb dropped. Myles Garrett, who said the door was closed on going or staying with the Cleveland Browns, all of a sudden the door got cracked and then got kicked wide open. Myles Garrett agrees to terms on a 4-year extension worth $40 million per year. And so the reason why I'm saying the Cowboys might overpay for Micah Parsons is simply because they've let all these other players get signed before Micah Parsons. Now, you heard Micah Parsons in his own interview. Micah Parsons said there's no difference between 30 and 40 million. That's according to Micah Parsons. But then I started seeing this on X. NFL rumors are not the only ones saying this. It says that star pass rusher Micah Parsons says that if he got $40 million per year on his new contract, he would be the happiest man alive. No difference between 30 and 40 million, huh? But again, he would kind of stay true to what he said. He doesn't have to be the highest paid, even though if it was me, I would be holding Micah Parsons' feet to the fire because he said there's no difference in 30 and 40 million. And so if I was the Cowboys, I would actually be trying to come in at around 30 million. Because when you think about these contracts, in the grand scheme of things, they're based on performance, but they're not necessarily based on performance. What do I mean by that? Let me show you something else. When you start looking at the top edge rushers, the reality is they're all very close. Micah Parsons arguably is not the best pass rusher in the NFL. He's in the top 5 pass rushers, but he's not the number 1 pass rusher in the NFL. I mean, we kind of saw what Danielle Hunter looked like this year. We know what Max Crosby is. He's pretty good. But again, when you get over here to these upper echelon pass rushers, when you start talking about Myles Garrett last year, Myles Garrett had 14 sacks. When you start looking at Nick Bosa actually had a down year. The San Francisco 49ers, I mean, they're going through something. I don't know if it's a rebuild or whatever, but Nick Bosa kind of had a down year. But Nick Bosa didn't even play a full season. I think he played 14 games. He had 9 sacks in 14 games. And then you got Micah Parsons, but I'm going to show you something why the Cowboys need to go ahead and get Micah Parsons signed. And the next guy I'm about to show you next to Micah Parsons, he could be argued as the best pass rusher in football right now. Trey Hendrickson. It could be argued that Trey Hendrickson is the absolute best pass rusher in the league right now. Right now. Let me give you an astounding stat on one Trey Hendrickson. Trey Hendrickson had 17.5 sacks last year. Are you ready to have your mind blown? Trey Hendrickson had 17.5 sacks also in 2023. 35 sacks in 2 seasons. Trey Hendrickson has been absolutely tearing it up. And it looks like the Cincinnati Bengals, after paying T. Higgins on what still is not the best contract, but they should have gave him better, but they just signed him. They just signed Jamar Chase, and now it's being talked about. Well, they gave Trey Hendrickson permission to seek a trade. It is being talked about that Trey Hendrickson may get an extension with the with the Cincinnati Bengals. Let me show you Trey Hendrickson's pay. Look at this. Trey Hendrickson, total value contract, $21 million average per year, and $8 million guaranteed. So I'm thinking what's going on is he is on the last year of his contract. I think that's what's going on with him, because that's one of the reasons why they're saying he can seek a trade. And I'm telling you, there was talk about the Cowboys looking at Trey Hendrickson. Trey Hendrickson is 31 years old, they're saying here. I'm sorry, if I'm the Cowboys or any other team, I would be looking at Trey Hendrickson. I really would. I would be looking at Trey Hendrickson. Trey Hendrickson has been a terror, an absolute terror in this league. You're talking 35 sacks in 2 seasons. That's incredible. Could you imagine Trey Hendrickson lined up opposite of Micah Parsons? I know everyone's been screaming about people have been screaming about Keenan Allen, Amari Cooper. Wish we would have got Cooper Kupp, not me. I said it before, I'll say it again. Trey Hendrickson is who the Cowboys ought to really be looking at to put opposite of Micah Parsons. But again, it's not a performance issue. It's not a performance issue. These guys are all kind of in that upper echelon. So what happens is when you get in that upper echelon of pass rushers, it's no longer about who's the best per se, because if it was about who is the best based on just pure performance numbers and those things, it's Trey Hendrickson. Man, you can't sneeze it. You cannot sneeze at 35 sacks in 2 seasons. You can't. I can't believe more people are not talking about this. And the issue is the Cowboys, they need to go ahead and sign Micah Parsons now before Trey Hendrickson winds up pushing this even further up. And rather than the Cowboys paying $40 million, which is about probably $6 to $7 million more than what they could have got Micah Parsons for when he first said what he said, they could push this to an extra $2 or $3 million. We don't know what Micah Parsons is going to sign for, but I'll tell you this. Had the Cowboys did his deal early, halving his 5th-year option in half, then you got him this year on that, what would that be, $12 million, $12.5 million? Then you could, you do his contract, you can put in the void years. You could work it to where all you got to do is flip a switch, push the money down into the void years. And the Cowboys, with the extra money they would have got from doing the deal now and halving that signing, that 5th-year option, halving that, you pick up another $12 million. Had you signed it when Micah Parsons first started talking about it at the end of the season, that's another $8 to $10 million. That's about $20 to $22 million that you could have spent on additional free agents, or saying, hey, Trey Hendrickson, we want to bring you in. Or any of these other free agents that we heard, and I think we're going to hear about more, that the Cowboys missed out on because of money. Cooper Kupp, glad they didn't do it. Greenlaw, they said they wanted Greenlaw. I mean, what about these players you could have brought in if you would have did it early? But since the Cowboys have waited late, rather than getting Micah Parsons at a bargain deal, probably of around $31 million, because at the time, Nick Bosa, he said he didn't have to be the highest paid. At the time, Nick Bosa was only making $34 million per year. $34 million per year, $88 million guaranteed. Micah Parsons said he didn't have to be the highest paid. He probably would have came in at around $31 million. $31 million, maybe around $80 million guaranteed. But now, you let all these people get signed. And now we're going to have to pay the piper as it applies to Micah Parsons. Unless he absolutely shocks us. Because even though Micah Parsons said what he said, there's another thing on X, and I won't let you look at. You can go find it on your own. But Micah Parsons also said his agent is trying to take care of him. So that tells me that, hey, Micah Parsons might have said one thing and his agent may be doing something else. And maybe that's the hold up on the contract. But I think either way, I believe the Cowboys are going to overpay for Micah Parsons. Not based on performance, but based on the fact they waited too late to sign Micah Parsons. Y'all tell me what y'all think in the comments. That's just more money we could have spent on free agency. Like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Tell me what you think in the comments. Until the next time, let's talk Cowboys, where we talk facts. Peace.